Israeli strikes on Gaza haven't let up in the 2 days following a UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire in the besieged Strip. In the meantime, Israel is rescheduling a meeting with U.S. officials after it canceled its plan to send a high-level delegation to Washington. Jeong Eun-joo has the latest.
Israel's Air Force continued to strike the Gaza Strip on Wednesday, 2 days after the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution calling for a ceasefire. The Israeli military said that warplanes had hit dozens of targets over the previous day, including tunnels, military compounds, and militants, while Hamas's military wing also continued to carry out attacks against Israeli soldiers. The same day, 3 Palestinian human rights groups said that the Israeli bombardment of Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of displaced Gazans are sheltering, had intensified over the previous 72 hours. Israel and Hamas appear no closer to negotiating a halt to the fighting, with significant gaps remaining between them. The UN resolution, which was passed on Monday, called for a ceasefire for the remaining weeks of Ramadan and the unconditional release of all hostages held by Hamas militants in Gaza. The United States abstained, which allowed the resolution to pass, leading Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to call off a planned visit to Washington by a senior-level Israeli delegation. The White House confirmed on Wednesday, however, that his office had agreed to reschedule the planned meeting between U.S. and Israeli officials to discuss operations in Rafah. Meanwhile, Israeli troops reportedly surrounded both Al-Amal and the nearby Nasser hospitals last weekend amid intense fighting in the west of Khan Yunis. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society announced on Sunday that Al-Amal Hospital in southern Gaza was out of service after Israeli troops forced medics and patients to evacuate and expressed its profound regret for the closure. Since early last week, Israeli forces have also been raiding Al-Shifa hospital in what the military has said is an effort to crack down on Hamas. Humanitarian organizations have expressed alarm over the situation at the medical facility, which, along with the surrounding area, had been sheltering thousands of people. Jeong Eun-joo, Arirang News.